What is it live, sir?
So, good morning to everybody. Today, I'm Harvinder Biswas, Academic Counselor of IGNU. So, now today the second part of MMPP 001 project work. Today, again, I have to show you some of the example of how to write a synopsis and the project and what are the norms to be taken care. So before that, again, some of the essential of the project, what are the things are there that has to, I will just read out some of the points. A live issue or a problem which is organization specific. Because basically the students and learners, their project, uh, most of the cases, students and everybody are focusing on the old projects which already prepared. I mean, already published or somehow. So that type of, I think, try to avoid this all these things. So live issues होना चाहिए. Means see the present scenario, what is there going on. So that type of live issues is very. That is for the purpose of the project or the research works. So that is one of the point. The live issue or the what are the present scenario, the problems, what are the challenges, rather I can say, what are the challenges presently. So you have to pick up some of the things, or at the same time you have to see that project should be relate or relevant to some of the organizations. That's what you cannot take it as a generalize. You cannot generalize these things. Most of the cases I have observed, it has been seen that job satisfactions. Lot of projects are going on, job satisfactions, or maybe they are saying some of the mutual fund, or maybe the HR practices. But they are, you have to have a refer some of the organizations. Means your project area to be confined, where your location, name of the organization has to be mentioned. So in the title itself, it will be a clear concept. Yes, this is the project, and that project has to be conducted in this company. So to identify the selection of the topics or title has to be such a way some organization specific must. Number two point enters the scientific collections, because the collections should be scientific way. It's not a haphazard way or some of the data is already prepared or not collected properly. That should not. Some through some scientific collections should be there. Analysis should be there, and interpretation of the data. That three, actually any project research, there are three pillars I can see. These are all the pillars, columns. Collection is very important, data collections. Analysis is another thing. You cannot compromise with the analysis part. And your interpretation, the what the data, what are the things, how are the way you are interpreting. It is a tabular form, a pie chart, or maybe in some of the cards. So, what the way you are interpreting, that is also important. Because if you write 500, 600 or 100, 200 pages, so there is no meaning because there is no time at all. So we have to have some of the portion analysis part, which should be as a tabulated portions, picturized, some pictorial form should be there. At the same time, you have to written something as a chart, and at the same time, it should be pictorial forms. So presentation is very important, data presentations. Another thing, valid conclusions. So conclusion is very important. For example, your project conclusion is not there, you are not clarifying then success of the project is diluted. It is a different. Reducing all the three above in writing in the form of the project. project. So if you do these things, then definitely minimize. You can minimize the things. Your writing can be shortened out. So in general, project should be around 60 to 80 pages as per the standard practice. But if you have your analysis part is good, your you are showing lot of colored uh, your uh, sheets are there, and maybe there are some of the tabulation card or whatever. Clearly your data is interpreting maybe 15 to 16 pages are like this. So then your writing portion will be reduced. So basic idea is this. Now essential steps. What are the steps you have to before for the project work? What type of steps you have to take? That is identifications and defining the problem. First things, you have to identify the problem. Suppose in the organizations everything is smooth, there is no problem at all. Everywhere, 80-90% scoring you are observing in the finance sector, in the profit margin is good, the new projects are already there, all the staffs are happy. Then there is no need for any project. I mean, no need for the research works. So first, during this problem, if any some problem is there, so first you have to identify the area where you are working in the company. So first you have to identify where the problem is in the company. That area you have to identify, and that problem, how to solve these problems, that is the research work. You start beginning of the research work or the project, you start from there. So identification of the problem is very important. If problem is not there, then what for the research? What for the project? When the everything is good, then need not to go there, the wastage of time and money. So solutions, basically the solution is prepared, and finally you have to recommend it and the conclusions. So this is the basic idea of the research work or project work. Here in this case, the student, when you are in a student, not for the PhD or something, so it is not any research scholar purposes. Students' contribution are very important because any evaluators are looking focus on the students' contribution, what the students has contributed. General theory not required. Most of the cases, the synopsis itself, the project itself, theories are more. There are a lot of theorems. Total, maybe the half of the books are in the project itself. So which are already published, which somebody has lot of definition has given, need not to write all these things. This is not a project. More problematic area where everything is, you have faced the problems and how, what the way you have done these things, conducted everything, that is the important. This area you have to elaborate, you have to write in more way what the way of your methods, what the way you have collected, and what the findings you have, what type of struggle or challenges you have faced during that period, that is important. So straightway the theory is written, not required at all. Definitely you have to give us some of these things before start this particular these chapters or something. Then go to your contribution part. Now planning and conducting the fieldwork for the chosen project based on the approved synopsis, and then you have to generate the data. So you have to wait for the approval of the synopsis because the synopsis maybe some correction is there, maybe modification is required, or maybe rejected. So that's why if you parallel if you start, then it will consume your money and time. So wait for the synopsis approval, then you plan accordingly for connecting the feeder. Analyzing the data and the drawing conclusions. First, you have to analyze the data. Then after that, you have to give some conclusions. Yes, 60% is people are happy, or 40% of people are not happy. So any department, suppose you are serving some of the total department of the organizations, finance, HR, your production sales, marketing, sales, so everything. Now finally, there are categorized 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 departments are there. First department, HR, they are uh, there are 70% people are satisfied, 30% not satisfied. So that is how we have to categorize, and overall you have to see the organization's happiness or the satisfaction levels where that you can have a you can picturize the things, and you can have a draw some line of these and conclusions. Yes, around 50% people are unhappy. So that is a target area. How to develop the those who are unhappy persons, unhappy employees. So how to develop this? For this is required. Then you can recommend some of the good practices or some of the uh, strategy. What are the strategies to be taken care? So then your project will be successful. Analyzing the data and then writing the project. Then after that, you have to write it. First, you have to synopsis, you have to prepare it, you have to wait for the approvals. When it is approved, then only you can go for the final. So this is the basically steps. Now defining the problems. When you have seen some of the problems or you have acknowledged some of the problems, then how to define? So it should be a live problem in the organization specific, and it should be manageable within your resources. Okay, something what happened, problem is there, but it is as a student or as a HR manager. Suppose you are considering as a HR manager, so it is really manageable or not? Those problems based on the available source. Suppose you are very critical nature of problems in the organization. You cannot, as per your effort, it may not be problem. So you have to consider it your time, money, and the effort. That you have to see. Otherwise, if you give a more and more effort, but that you cannot manage it, but you cannot complete the project in such a way. It means suppose you are selecting a topics in such a way that it can be achievable, it can be manageable. You can within 2 months or 3 months, you can collect the data, or you can prepare the things, and you can submit. You can complete the project like that. So that type of project or problematic project you have choice. So choice is as your based on your capacity, your time, how much time you can afford it. See, otherwise, if you say a very problematic project area, problem is very high level, then it may take 1 year, 2 years to solve all these things. So that type of you have to avoid these things. Organizations selected should be such that they are willing to help you generate the relevant data. Because when you are thinking, suppose you are thinking for the project, I have to prepare some of the project. Very good, no problem. Now, where you are working, first of all, you see how much access you have. Really, your management, your top level, your bosses or other colleagues, they will help you for completing this or not. Others, if it is not relevant data you are not getting from your organizations, so then it is a problem. Because, or suppose if you are choosing the other companies where you don't have any access, no friend, nothing, you don't know, just simply SBI Bank. But SBI Bank, you are writing for mutual fund system of SBI, for example. But you don't have any SBI friend, or you don't know they will give you a chance or not to survey or for taking the interviews and all these things. Or maybe the past data, last 4 5 years data, they are reluctant to give. Then it is a problem. So first of all, you have to see, you have to select the organizations where you can have some chance to get the data. Then only you can prepare, you can generate some of the data. The organizations could be your own or any other organizations in your vicinity, suppose some friend or colleagues or your relatives working in somewhere, so you can select that organizations because in anticipations, in assumptions, so your relatives or friends are there, so then at least some of the data they will give or some arrangement they can do it for you to scrutinize the things. So so it must be that one where you can have access to information both for primary and secondary data and the managerial willingness to discuss your ideas and views. So it is important. So keeping in mind and also this is a part of your defining the problems. So when you are trying the problem, it should be clear. It should be in your mind, yes, this is the problem, okay, fine. But which company I should select it? And that company really give me the help or not to finish this project. So considering this. Now coming to project proposal. Some most of these students, everybody are confused about these things. What is project proposals? How to write it? How many pages should be there? What the way I can start it? So a lot of confusion. So I'm trying to give you here some of the structured way to tell you what the actual project was and how to proceed. Basically, the synopsis, project proposal, and synopsis are the same thing. So after selecting the suitable topics, when you are selecting the suitable topics, again I am telling you that topics should be your specific to some of the organizations. Organizations should be there. Otherwise, you cannot do it. Define the problem and make the outline plan by which you propose to conduct the project study. So, outline is very, very important to conduct the study. The next step is to prepare the project synopsis and get it approved by the institution where you are studying, IGNOU or any universities. Well, so first you have to identify topics choice, your traditions, or otherwise you can discuss with your project guide. The guide will give you some of the topics because ultimately they have to see they can select you some of the topics. Okay, you can go for this because they have enough idea and experience. They can give you this. Otherwise, if you take in your own some of the topics. So a project synopsis, therefore, is an outline plan of conducting your project. So, so synopsis is nothing. You have to give some outline, or you can say summarize. Some of the summary you are giving. My project will be like this. So this is the recipe, as I conveyed earlier also. So it is just like a outlines, and or I can say it is some of the recipe. What your project should be where personal data, writing the project report is all up. After that, the coming in project outlines. Now it is important. Different university in different way. This is all of the combining. I have combined most of the universities structure and latest things, IGNOU also. So think this is the outline of the project. Means synopsis has to be prepared based on this. So first thing is title of the project. As I as I said, title of the project should be simple, realistic, and should not be very big. Title should be just one sentence. But you have to be careful about it. Title should not be particular one. Job satisfaction, no. Mutual fund, no. HR practices, no. HRM, no. There should be some of the related to where you are conducting the that part that you have. For example, a study on HR practices of Tata Consultancy, or you can say a study or for the analysis, a study for the analysis for some of the you can say for market behaviors. Bracket में for a case study of particular this company. So you have to mention where you are going for this project. So title itself should come in the title itself. In the end, it should where you are likely to conduct your project. So I have seen a lot of cases today that confusing that define the title, but the title itself should come. Clear things should become from the title itself. So that we have to be careful about it. Now then, statement about the problems. Here actually brief introductions should be there that maybe I have missed. Introductions after title one introduction part should be there. Introductions. Then after that it should come statement about the problems. I'll show you one of the example also after that. So this is the outline I'm showing you. Then title of the project. Then after that introductions. That should be brief. Or introductions should be based on the company itself. What are the profit? What are the annual? Based on the annual report from the website, here you can get it, all these data from the particular organizations. Or if you have a colleague or if you have a friend, from some of the companies, you can also get a latest things. So basically, the introduction is nothing if the companies, the business they have, what the way they are running their business, last 3-4 years, what type of revenue they have generated, what are the new project they are launched, if in some problem is this, the particular this, why in the competitive market, that things you have to brief in the instructions. Then after that, any organization definitely some problem will be there. So to identify the particular problem within particular this company, that is the your statement about the problem or statement of the problem. You can say statement of the problem. So then rationales. Within the rationales, there are three parts. Which is the particular why is the particular topic chosen? Because definitely some reasons should be there as a writer, as a candidate, as a student. Definitely you have some background why you are choosing this. So there at least one para you have to write it. That this is the part particular process. That's why you have to choose these things. Then what contribution would be the project make to whom? After the what the contributions from the project and to who will be the benefited? So that thing you have to write. Then what contribution would the project make to whom? So both the way after the finish of the things you have to write. I think it's the same sentence. So anyway, then objectives. So here actually again just recapping title of the project, introductions, statement of the problem, why you are choosing this problem, what benefits are there, and in terms of what the way company will be benefited. That up to the three parts. Then coming to your objectives. Scope of the study you have to write it. Objectives should be your project objectives because you see there are a lot of objectives. Company they have some different objectives, but as is to be when you are writing the project, particular that problematic areas, particular this area, that objective you have to highlight, not overall total company's objectives. But suppose your topics in marketing or your topics in your HR. So focus on this part where you are likely to go for searching the things for your search. So focus on that area, not focus on total scope of the studies. That is where the objectives and actually should be objectives and scope of the study. Or otherwise, there should be another two para: objectives of the study, scope of the study, another para you can put. Scope of the study is basically confined the jurisdictions that you have to write. Yes, from SBI Bank, there are three branches, you can give the names. The three branches of the SBI, what the way the mutual fund is going on, that I have to solve it. This is my jurisdictions. I mean, this is the area to confine my scope is this. I will not go for other bank or not other. Or if you write in the introductions, okay, I have to visit for Axis Bank, SBI Bank, and ICC Bank. Three bank I have to visit and let's see what the mutual fund there. Then after that I have to prepare some comparative list. Then you have to mention this. So this is the way, what the way you have to mention. The scope basically where you have to move particular and from where you are collecting the data, that area you have to define. That is your scope. Now, research methodology. In the research methodology, you have to your methods. What are the methods you have to adopt? That you have to write. But the way you have to follow these things, there should be some primary data. You have to define what is the primary data. You have to write some of the primary data definitions. Then you have to say the what the there are so many methods for collecting the primary data: inquiry systems, telephonic systems, questionnaire systems, counseling systems. So that you have to mention what the way you want to proceed. Everything should be in future tense. That's because it's all our outline. You are planning, you are giving an outline, recipe. So project, final project, all everything should be in past tense. I have done, I have gone there, I have visited. But here everything is likely to be, would be, to be done. Everything will be in the future consequences. Then limitations. As a research methodology, you have to mention the secondary data also. From the where you are taking the secondary, also, any project for these things for the research method, both the data you have to require, primary and the secondary. Only primary based on only primary data, you may not be conclude, cannot be given a correct pictures for that. So you should have a both the primary data also, means the current data, and then you can comprise. You can see the differences. You can understand last 5 years what the company has done, but what type of problem was there. Now it is in present scenario, what type of problem is there. So all these problems you can see last span of 4 5 years. So that previous things always secondary and the current is always the primary. So both the things are required. In this current situations, that is you have to develop, you have to discover the things, you have to identify the things which are not published so far, nobody has done earlier. So that is all the primary data, basic data. All data which are this is old data, all are preserved data, reserved data from the manuals, from the website, from the Googles, or from the lot of old files you can correct. That is all your secondary data. Limitations are will be there because in a short time you have to, within a very short time you have to submit it, within 2 months or 3 months you have to, because the time constraints are there. Then sometimes maybe when you are going for the collecting the data, employees may be reluctant. They are sometimes it is a depending on the fairs or anyhow it is by virtue of nature. Sometimes they are not open out the things, but because of the sampling is very less, so you are already confined or specified some of the area only. You are not taking is a mass data, so error should be there. Chances of error will be there. There is an error limitations. So limitations you can write 2 3 points. Then chapter scheme, basically your project, how it looks, what are the chapters should be there. So that's the chapterizations or chapter scheme. In the future, in the font sheet is the contain that the, your project content sheet are basically your chapter schemes. Guides by data, definitely you have to. Guides by data as per the norm, your signature should be there in the CV. And guides by data, basically his qualifications, experience should be there, and qualification when he has passed out. If it is fine to produce this certificate also, guide certificates, experience certificate. If you attach it, that is good, fine. Then basically you have to justify that your guide is suitable. As a evaluator, you can understand yes, your guide is compatible. Your guide is enough knowledge. What you are written, that is you can counter it. Yes, this biodata is this, and this certificate is this, and experience certificate also. Or in some visiting card also you can add it. So, if in the signature should be there, original signature, and in the format is also on the signature. So, guide signature is very important. The original signature, photocopy not allowed. I mean, the digital signatures or something not allowed. You have to take the original signature of the guide. If your guide is some not in particular this location, other location, you can send it by post. You can collect it. This is the way you can collect it. Now, this is the format basically. Actually, I have for the prepared for this presentation purposes, but it is available in the website. In the prospectus itself, if you scroll the prospectus, there are in the page number 72 or 73, you will see the project guidelines. MMPC 001, especially the project guidelines, where you can also get it, everything. Or otherwise, from the MBA prospectus, if you download it, then if you go to page number 72, then you can get it all these forms. So that is the project proposal forms. It should not be distorted. Uh, exact, you have to take a printout and you can write in your by hand. Don't go for the typing, because when you go for the typing, it may be distorted. The file may be distorted. So because PDF to Word and Word to PDF, so based on this, some of the lines may be changes, some of the things can be missing. Because I have seen a lot of things are missed. Those who are try to in a print typing as a from the computer itself, they have done it, but somehow some of the things are distorted. So better is you take a printout and write the things, you can submit it. No problem. And here I have to mention all these things. Project proposal number. Project proposal number is important. That will be allotted to the particular regions they will give you. That PP number, that is project proposal number, you have to preserve it until and unless till your project final you have not submitted. That time also you have to keep it, because that is only the reference number you can correspondence with the regional centers. And complete postal address to be, then this is the way as there. Guide has to write sign. The second page, the first part is continuation things. So there here actually you see when I have tried these things, I have also faced the one of the table is there. The table has not copied. When I convert it in a Word form, in a PPT form, from the PDF to PPT forms, that problem I have also faced. So that's why additionally I have to put in a table. But in the original form, there is some small table is there, synopsis and supervisors, approved, not approved, that part is there. So that's why you have to be careful about it. The signature of these supervisors and date should be there. Student signature and date should be there. Signature always the top of the signature line, of the line, not below the written. Some of the students are written signature of the supervisor, signature of the student. Below that, they have signed it. No. Signature always the top of the signature line. Then date always there, date and place also you have to mention it. And then after that, the evaluated what is there, the official use purposes, that will. So all this information in the forms, basically what are the information that should be there. Here one thing you have to careful, the address, because suppose because it's by post you have to receive, that synopsis will be delivered to the student's address. If you put your old address where you are not there, I mean as per the at time of admissions, what the address is there, then the synopsis will be dispatched to that address. Suppose for example you are not there, somehow temporarily you have to shift it or something. So present where you are available, that address you have to mention. Maybe a temporary, doesn't matter. For sending the synopsis, otherwise I have seen lot of students, they have received their synopsis, they have sent by the post itself, but they are I am not getting the synopsis. what is all? It is dispatch. Where? Old address. Because you have mentioned in the old address, that's it. So you have to calculate email address, whatever it is, the latest should be given where you can collect the material easily. In the record, it may be your old address, doesn't matter. But here, actually, for getting this synopsis, approval synopsis, so you have to put your where you are available. Because gateway based on this address, it will be dispatched. If you mention your latest address here, so definitely it will go your this address, not for the old addresses. So you have to be careful about it. So now, okay, this part for foundation, what are the problems that I have already discussed. Now, certificate of originality. It is not required with the synopsis. Actually, some of the students, they are putting the synopsis itself. That certificate required with the final project itself. So that time some certification has to be given. That your supervisors, project guide will endorse, yes, this work is original and he is my student for the degree of the students and what are some sort of your certifications. So it is required along with the final project, not with the synopsis. And format you cannot change it. Which are the format is already given in the website, same format should be there. You cannot change any language itself. Everything should be same. So now I'm giving one of the example. It's very important. I think it will help all the students, those who are facing the how to write the synopsis, and it is very unique and prepared and in such a way, very simple way, so that you can understand it easily. Now you see title: Jobs Description Analysis in Messrs. Indian Export House Limited. If I not write the Mrs. Indian Export Limited, then it will be a, don't know where I am going for this thing. Now it is very clear. That means the project, the synopsis are basically for the Indian Export House Limited, where this is to be conducted, that survey to be conducted, their suggestion of the analysis for particular this company to be done. So title itself will be clear. If you go through this title, it is clear cut indications Indian Export House Limited, where the survey has to be done. The project to be done for the purpose of justification of analysis purposes. So first things 1.0. This is the way you have to structure it. First you can intend in 1.0. That is a brief introduction of IEHL. In short, it is the Indian Export House Limited. That is IEHL. So first you have to give a one page. You can write some of the introductions. Introductions we can write some of the company, when it has established, how the way is running, how much export here they are doing, what the way they have, how many branches are in the India. That is a general way. And the profit, what the annual, everything from your annual report you can get it. Otherwise, www particular this company, you can have some idea. So brief introductions, state where there is no worry, it is available in the websites or in the annual report. If you collect this particular this company annual report, you can get it. So brief introductions, don't worry, simply you can take and you can write in your own languages. Now the part number 2.0, that is your rationals. Now in the rationals again you see there are three parts. 2.1, that is a statement of the problem. The statement of the problem means actually what the problem is going on in this particular company, that you have to highlight. Maybe some of the introduction part you can touch it. So you can write, maybe some of the things are common for the introductions also. So you can reduce some of the things. Established in 1962, Mrs. India Export House Limited is one of the first and the oldest garment export houses in India. Initially, it started with the exporting the garments, handicraft, and the insides of the UK and USA. But today, it specializes in the ladies' garments and only export the same. About a decade ago, it had achieved an annual turnover over the 35 crores. It has a manpower strength of 200 employees. So 200 employees are there and around turnover is 35 crores. So now they slowly have to see where the problem. Now, however, over the past 6 years, the export and hence the turnover of the IL has declined. Now, this is a question mark. That is the problem in India. Means now it is declining. Earlier that they are very good, now it is declining. So in the meanwhile, the manufacturing unit of the I not KL actually this is wrongly printed out. IEHL Indian Export House Limited had also shifted from Nazarbaye area to Noida in 1983. That you have given some of the reasons because it is declined. Now from they have shifted their factory or everything their unit in the Noida. Though through there have been many reasons which together have contributed to the decline in performance of IEHL. So in their performance, somehow the performance is not good. So lack of job is a lack of job satisfaction of the employees appears to be one of the key reasons. So here the slowly you are giving a statement of the problems. So one thing declining started and here the job satisfaction is not here. So there are two things area you can identify. So their turnover of the approximate 35 crores in the 1987 has now dropped to just 16 crores. Earlier it was 35 crores, now it is 16 crores. Why it has happened? Maybe chances of justice question. They are also assuming. Now, as a student, now you have to start doing some project work. Really, the density, really the degree of unsatisfied peoples, where the people are things. So now that is your project. So their manpower turnover to has increased over the last 5 years. Manpower, you see here one of the conditions, manpower is also increased, turnover is increased. So that means recruitment process was going on. And maybe some of the people are leaving and going. So total turnover will be how much people are joining, how much people are going, how much people are retiring. So everything are considering these things. The last 5 years it has absorbed, it is increased. So turnover also increased. In terms of manpower, turnover increase means not the money. Money is not declining. Profit revenue has declined. Earlier it was 35, now it is 16 crore only. So company is slowly declining conditions. Reason, one of the key reasons is your not satisfied, job satisfaction is not there. So now we have got it. What is the problem? That problem, we are talking about the statement of the problem. So that means problem area now we have identified. Very good. Now we go for the next case. 2.2. Why is the topic chosen? So we have to write an employee of this IEHL as a merchandise in the sampling department. Person is working in the same company and he is the student of this particular, let it be from IGNOU students. He is working in there and he is doing his MBA. So that's why he is writing this. I have been a employee of the IEHL as a merchandise in the sampling department in 1996 and have been observing this decline in the performance and the turnover. He is saying, I am also observing this. So I am deeply concerned with the well-being of my old populations and would therefore like to scientifically analyze the reasons and suggest remedial measures to the management. So that because of that, we choose these topics. So that is the solid reasons. If the way you have write any in your project, right? So one go synapse will be approved. So rather writing lot of things, confusing things, it will be confuse yourself and the evaluator also. So first of all, you have to clear your mind. What is the problem and why you are choosing these things? Now third thing, 2.3. 2.3, what contribution would the project make and to whom? So results of my survey and analysis would provide a very useful input to the management of IEHL who are already seized of the problems. So we have to mentioning in my project will be helpful. So they have welcomed my effort and are looking forward to collecting all the available data in this respect for examining the problem. So already lot of people are studying. When you have decided, you are saying, I have already decided to do this project in this area. So lot of my colleagues are welcoming. Okay, okay, you do this project. Very good. It's a good project. We are helping you. No problem. It's a good thing. So they are looking forward to collecting the evidence. So that these are win positions. When that person will go for this survey, so all these your colleagues and everybody will help to give the data. So in this aspect of examining the problem, totally. So this is the way you can do. Now next point, objectives and scope. Again in the objectives we can say that is 3.1 objectives. The objectives of my project is to evaluate the job satisfaction level of the employees to Indian export business and suggest remedial measures. Otherwise, you can write some of the other way also. 1, 3.1, again 3.1a. 3.1a, to understand the existing problems. 3.1b, you can write. To collect the informations, all data from the different departments. Okay. Now 3.1.c, to analyze all the data. Then finally you can write 3.1.d, suggest some remedial measures or develop some of the remedial measures. So that is the way you can bullet you can write. The objectives can be otherwise in the written form. Here the objectives is given in written form. Otherwise you can say one sentence, two sentences. Most of the cases, three things. Any objectives, any project, first things you have to know. You have to understand the things, what are the existing problems going on. Okay. After that, when you are collecting all this data, then definitely the second step is your analysis. You have to analyze the data. Then only you can have a idea. So it should be in chronological order. First, you have to know yourself, idea, what are the things that are going on. Then collect the data, then analyze the data. Then finally, you have to develop some of the new ideas or some of the measures. Then you can suggest. So objectives should be 3 or 4 points. Some of the cases I have seen there are objectives 7, 8, 9, 10 objectives student are reaching. No, that should not be. Or here actually is clear. Objectives is particularly project related only. If I suppose to recruit the companies HR from the HR sections, how much people are happy. So in general, you don't go. Only for your objectives is there, where you are focused on this problem. So there 2, 3 objectives should be there. Then scope 3.2. My study will be confined. My studies will be confined as an employees of the IEHL. Just you touch, you have to trigger your scope and define. Then some past employees of the IECs. That means we have to say my study will be, I have to inquire from my present employees, then I have to, those who are already retired or already resigned this company, what for they have resigned, that I have to inquire, why they are unhappy, because of the happy they have retired or leave this company or not, that data I have to collect it. Customers and buyers of the IHL garments. So from the customer's viewpoint also have to collect. So this is the area you have to, your study area, that is actually the scope. So 3.2 scope is over. Then after that you have to write methodology. It is simply just one pages, not write in details. Synopsis, so one synopsis should be 5 to 6 pages. That's all. So only one paragraph. You can give me some outline. You're not giving the project, final project. Final project you have to do it. always keep in mind it is just outline. Methodology. So there is a 4 point, then 4.1 primary data. Then primary data, for obtaining the primary data for my project, I propose to use two research instruments. One is the questionnaires and the structured data. So this is the way you have to collect the primary data, because this is the only way you can collect it, or telephonic. But when you are in the going to the particular export company, there is are only 200 manpowers are there, so no problem. I think this is not required for everybody's viewpoint. You can simply you can take, okay, I'm just only 20% or 10%. I can select the people where I can questions. I can take interviews. So sampling is also not all. What are the populations that you have to see, as we have written somewhere, I have seen that is 200 people are working. So definitely it should be, if you consider it the 10%, so that means around 25, 20 to 25. Sufficient. Sampling selection is also important. Suppose you have 500 population, in the particular company there are 500 people where you are likely to go for the survey. So definitely at least around 50 of your sampling is required. Then it will be justified. Then your database collections will be, error will be less. Sample is very less, then chances will be error. Will be things. Now sample compositions. Now that 25 sampling, you have to distribute. Some of the export manager, there are 5. You have to inquire it. You have to collect the data. Head of the departments, there are around 5. So 5, 5, 10 collected. Supervisors, there are 10 supervisors. You have to go for questions and take some interview, something. And past employees who have already leave these organizations, you can go their house, or you can on the phone. What are the way, or you can send this email to questionnaires, let them collect it. So there are 5. So total 25 you have to justify. That is called sample compositions. Where will be your composition? This is the composition. 25 sampling you are not distributed in such a way. Now your structured interviews, both a second part. This is their one of your questionnaires, your sampling. Now same thing, your the sampling or around 20-25, but you are distributed for the structured interviews also. Sampling again, same thing. Expert employees to a manager, then head of the department to supervisors to person and customers. Now earlier the customer was not there. Now we have to put some customers also. So this is the way you have to collect all the primary data. Now from here in the methodology you see primary data portion is over now. Now 4.1, now we have to talking about the 4.2. That is secondary data. As I said, both the things are required for the particular projects. So secondary data you have to, I propose to get the secondary data from previous in-house studies done by the IEH. Maybe the previous year somebody has done the studies. Same, you can take it as a reference. Earlier complaints letters of the customers. Maybe some of the customers have complained earlier. You can take this complaint as a complaint. So that is also some sort of unsatisfaction part. Why the customers are unhappy. So this is the way to collect this. All our old data basically is a part of the secondary parts. Then primary and secondary, both the data, then you can analyze better. Limitations. Time constraints to finish the project within a very short time, within a very short time. So within a short, what is missing now? Time constraints to finish the project within a very short period. So that is one of the limitations. Number 2, sometimes employees are reluctant to disclose his or her view, because sometimes employees are not giving exactly views, because human nature is different. Maybe some fear, or maybe think in other way, not willingly are giving these things. So there will be a chance of missed data. I mean, the error can be there. So that is one of the limitations. Third, that is this project analysis may not be applicable for other organizations, because what you are preparing this project cannot be universal, cannot be unique project, because it is only the concern of the your IEHL. You are confined to the project only IEHL only. So other company maybe they are different problems. So it may not be the same problems. Their strength may be more. There 200 people are already working. You are taking some. So that is one of the limitation. It is only consigned for the old IECL. So this is the limitation part. Now, last thing, another part is the chapter scheme. The chapter scheme in the project is planned to be. You see, just it to be planned to be as under. Means in the synopsis is not like this. In the project, maybe after 2 months you have to prepare. That time your project, how it looks, how what type of chapter you have to give it. Now you have to highlight some of the. It's not a mandatory, but it is better. If you give a some chapter scheme, it is better. So introductions, uh, then objectives of the scope, methodology, data collections. You see here data collections. Now data analysis. In the synopsis, there is no data analysis part. Findings. So in the synopsis, what you are thinking, what the things, it will be as an input for your final project. Findings, recommendation, and conclusions. So this is the way all the chapters should be there. Here actually important chapter is chapter number 4 and 5. Very important. Because balance things may be almost same, which we have written in the synopsis. Same thing you can write it. No problem. Because introduction to the company will not change very much. Hopefully the same. Objectives and the scope is also almost same. So what they have written in the synopsis maybe almost same thing will come. Methodology is also almost same. Change will be your chapter 4 and 5. You have to elaborate little more sheets will be there. Data collection sheets, you have all that you have to introduce. So lot of sheets are there. Graph pages, the inertia, and exhibit, and table of forms, and data analysis. You have to all the sheets you have to analyze it, and you have to give your recommendations also. Then findings, recommendations, like this, and conclusions. So in total, around 60 to 80 pages should be there. And when your project will be there, it looks around 60 to 80 pages. You have to elaborate it. And that time, introductions, you can write little more. Some of the, you can increase little more. Objectives and the scope method, you cannot, you can increase, you cannot increase more because that is the same. What the objectives already have outlined in the earlier, in the synopsis, that will be remain same. Data collections analysis important because chapter number 5 data analysis where you have to give some colored excellent quality. This is the quality of your projects. Because if the data analysis part is there, then definitely your project will be good. Otherwise, overall, any examiner, any evaluator will target to see this chapter number 5 and 6. That is the data, your data collection, data analysis, finding. What are the balance things? Fourth chapter onward up to the last, that is the target area to evaluate, to examine, to scrutinize the things. So students, you have to be careful about these so that when you are presenting the things, you have to be very careful about these chapters itself. So now I'm trying to recap all these things first. What you can just roll back the things just for again I'm saying this is your brief introductions, then rationals, the statement of the problem, then your why you are choosing these topics, then your what the contribution will be come out from this project, then your objective, which is you can write in a bullet form or something, then the scope of the study that you have to write, where you are really conducting the project, then methodology, primary data, and what the way you have distributed, that is the sample size, compositions also you have to think. Sample size always you have to take around 10 to 50% only, not more than that, sufficient. Because otherwise, if you take a more sample, the more survey is going to be time consuming. That's why. That's why you have to take a small. Other research purposes may be different, but student purposes you have to take this. Because within 2 months you have to prepare. Then your subject for the structure interview purposes. Then we are talking about the secondary data, from where you get it, the limitations and chapters like this. So okay, I think almost we have finished all these things that we are discussing about the synopsis part and the project part, what the way you have to write it, and what are the precautions you have to take it, and where the loopholes, what the checkpoints are there, that everything is. So, if any, I think so, it's not left out anything. I covered up all the points. And, okay, thank you very much to everybody. Okay, namaste. Bye.